She was born in 1987, December 4th. Parents of my older brother and the wife, and they have Yoon Jung's big daughter and son, Timothy Bahn, is sitting in front, and she has like five cousins of them, and three of them are intended here, and two cannot. So they sent some video message. Did you guys see the video message of Jessica? 리안하고 저거 봤어요? 안 풀었어? No, not yet. Oh, okay, that will be played a little bit later. And the parents 인사하실래? 형? 이따가 okay. So, right. So she was graduated Cardozo High School in a Pratt, and she was teaching in high school. And suddenly, I can't believe she was laying down there. I don't know when it's gonna be happen to me. All the sad and sorrows, but you know, this is a fact that we have today. And their parents immigrated here 1982-3. So she was born here a time ago. She was born in 1987. So how many years? 34. Yeah, okay. The husband there. Yeah. So all of you guys, please, you know, having like a same mind, like we're families and husbands, and their parents has. Right, so I don't know, my English is not that good, but I see a lot of people here speaking Korean than English, so please, so to understand, as I said, so thank you, right?
I'm Regina Paul, Jimmy's mother and Jess's mother-in-law. I loved every minute we had of her. She was a beautiful, lovely, kind, generous, sweet young woman. One of my fondest memories of Jess is that over the years, for birthdays and Christmas, I often gave her jewelry. And I noticed that every time she came to my apartment for dinner or anything at all, she was always careful to wear whatever I had given her. And I thought that was incredibly gracious. And I know she did it purposefully because she seemed to think that would be the right thing to do, and it was a lovely thing to do. As you know, Jess loved reading books. I think you'll hear more about that later when our minister comes. My husband, Jimmy's father, who died 10 years ago, was also a great reader. Our son, Bobby, Jimmy's brother, said that one of the dreams he had about his father after Jay died was seeing him and Bobby saying to Daddy, "What are you doing?" And Jay said, "I'm just sitting around reading books." And I feel like in my heart, I believe that Jess and Jay are in heaven reading books together, and I know that they are loving that time together.
Make sure it's silent.
My name is Jimmy Only, and this is Lori Burgess. We're the pastors of the Congregational Church of Manhasset, and we were the ministers who had the honor of marrying Jimmy and Jess 3.5 years ago. Our service tonight will be non-traditional in the sense that Jess was not a particularly religious person. So tonight's service will be non-sectarian. However, we encourage you to pray in your own way for Jess and her loved ones. And we hope that our time together brings you comfort and some measure of peace.
Since Jess was an English teacher, we've chosen several selections from classic literature. In Intimations of Immortality, William Wordsworth wrote, "What though the radiance which was once so bright be now forever taken from my sight? Though nothing can bring back the hour of splendor in the grass, of glory in the flower, we will grieve not, rather find strength in what remains behind."
In Shakespeare's The Tempest, Act 4, Scene 1, Prospero observes, "Our revels are ended. These our actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and are all melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which inherit, shall dissolve, and like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep."
One of of Jess's favorite books of all time was Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Jess's mother-in-law, Regina, once gave Jess a treasure. It was a very old copy of the book given to Jimmy's great-grandmother by Jimmy's great-great-grandfather on the occasion of her 10th birthday. Louisa May Alcott writes, "How dark the days seemed now, how sad and lonely the house, and how heavy were the hearts of the sisters as they worked and waited, while the shadow of death hovered over the once happy home. Then it was that Margaret, sitting alone with tears dropping often on her work, felt how rich she had been in things more precious than any luxuries money could buy, in love, protection, peace, and health, the real blessings of life. I wish I had no heart, it aches so," sighed Meg after a pause. "If life is often as hard as this, I don't see how we ever shall get through it," added her sister. Later in the book we read, "When the first bitterness was over, the family accepted the inevitable and tried to bear it, helping one another by the increased affection which comes to bind households tenderly together in times of trouble. A sad eclipse of the serene soul, a sharp struggle of the young life with death, but both were mercifully brief, and then the natural rebellion over, the old peace returned more beautiful than ever." Later on in the book, Alcott writes a poem that says this, "Sitting patient in the shadow, till the blessed light shall come, a serene and saintly presence sanctifies our troubled home. Earthly joys and hopes and sorrows break like ripples on the strand of the deep and solemn river, where her willing feet now stand. O my sister, passing from me, out of human care and strife, leave me as a gift those virtues which have beautified your life. Meek heart, forgive me mine, thus our parting daily loseth something of its bitter pain, and while learning this hard lesson, my great loss becomes my gain. For the touch of grief will render my wild nature more serene, give to life new aspirations, a new trust in the unseen. Henceforth, safe across the river, I shall see forevermore a beloved household spirit waiting for me on the shore. Hope and faith born of my sorrow, guardian angels shall become, and the sister gone before me, by their hands shall lead me home." And then finally, Alcott writes this, "When morning came, for the first time in my many months the fire was out, and Joe's place was empty and the room very still. But a bird sang blithely on the budding bough close by, the snowdrops blossomed freshly at the window, and the spring sunshine streamed in like a benediction over the placid face upon the pillow, a face so full of painless peace that those who loved it best smiled through their tears and thanked God that Beth was well at last."
An instant classic in musical theater, Hamilton. In Hamilton, Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote these words, "There are moments that the words don't reach. There is suffering too terrible to name. You hold your child as tight as you can and push away the unimaginable. The moments when you're in so deep, it feels easier to just swim down. The Hamiltons move uptown and learn to live with the unimaginable. There are moments that the words don't reach. There's a grace too powerful to name. We push away what we can never understand. We push away the unimaginable." We all wish that we could push away the unimaginable today. The shock of losing someone so young is unimaginable. Seeing her one day and learning that she has died the next breaks our hearts into 1,000 fragments, and the pain of that is unimaginable. When our hopes and dreams flourish, we revel in the joy, a taste of eternity, and yet we know on this earth that nothing lasts forever. Not joy, not happiness. Our moments of bliss fade like the morning dew, and we are left feeling like our souls have shattered. It is a painful reminder that all things pass. In the 6th century BCE, the great Chinese philosopher and father of Taoism, Lao Tzu, surmises, "A sunrise does not last all morning, a cloudburst does not last all day, nor a sunset all night. All things pass." What always changes? Earth, sky, thunder, mountain, water, wind, fire, lake. These change. And if these do not last, do our visions last? Do our illusions? Take things as they come. All things pass. From one perspective, it's a good thing in life. It's the good things in life that we think of passing, the happiness and the joy. But we need to remember that the sadness in life, the brokenness, the heartache, these pass too. In time, our memories of good and better days with Jess slowly emerge, and the painful present recedes a bit and gives us some breathing room. One of Jess and Jimmy's happiest days was November 2nd, 2019, their wedding day. Many of us were drawn together to celebrate their love and commitment to one another. Keep that happy memory in your mind. An evening of smiles and laughter, a time of celebration. There was much to celebrate about Jess. She was kind and caring, generous and grateful, lovely and loving. We will carry these memories of good and joyous times until we are all reunited at the last. Some see death as the end of one's journey. And it certainly is the end of one journey. But it's also the beginning of an altogether new journey. It's comforting to think that the moment Jess stepped across the threshold of eternity, that her father-in-law, our beloved Jay Haas, was waiting and said something funny like, "You want me to show you around the place? It's heavenly." Amen.
Hear now these words. Deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the emerald grass to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the sleeping stones to you. Deep peace of the wandering wind to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the gentle night to you. Amen.
This concludes our portion of the service.
is Amanda. I am one of Jessica's best friends, and we met in college in 2005. And we've been able to sustain a friendship for almost 20 years because she was one of the most loving, caring, fun, free spirits. We have 1,000 memories and 1,000,000 laughs. And anybody that ever met Jessica knew she didn't have a mean bone in her body. She's one of my favorite people and just way too young to go. And she was smart and just hilarious, and I will miss her, and I'm so sorry for your loss. And it's just going to be very painful for a while, but I know she'd want me to say something. And I wish I could think of something funny to say, and I can't. She's just too young, and I'll miss her immensely.
Hi everybody, I'm Jessica's uncle. I have two daughters who they love Jessica dearly. They really wanted to be here tonight, but they couldn't because they live in Atlanta, Georgia. But they wanted to say something to Jessica, so I'm going to play a short video that they made.
Meantime, is there anybody else want to share the memories of Jessica with friends or family members of us? Anybody else? Just come out and say what you wanted to say to Jessica's and the people's on here. Okay? Thank you.
Generous, considerate, optimistic. These are the three words that I will remember Jessica by. Always giving advice and checking in with the latest events within our lives was always a must when speaking with her. The conversations would usually last for hours. There were no bad memories that could even be thought of, only memories of kindness, mentorship, and honesty are embedded in my mind about Jessica. She always talked about how she, Angela, and I were three strong, independent Bahn women. When pursuing my education, you will always be in my mind as you always encouraged book reading by giving countless number of books to read and helping out when essay editing was needed. A passion for education and educating others is a legacy and pride that will be kept in our family. Thank you for your presence and being. There are no words to be thought of when thinking about how much everyone will miss you. May you rest in peace, Jessica Bahn. You will never be forgotten. Generous, considerate, optimistic. I miss you and love you so much, as well as everyone else who loves you. Rest easy and thank you for being my cousin.
Sorry, let me replay.
Dear Jessica, you are so beautiful. Your personality, your energy, and on the outside as well. I'm so grateful to have had such a beautiful person as a cousin. You never left a conversation without making me smile, and you had such an amazing humor and always joked about buying my first drink when I turned 21. You introduced me to my favorite movies and bought me my first coffee from Starbucks. You also gave your all in loving others. I'll miss you and love you so much, as well as everyone else who loves you. Rest easy and thank you for being my cousin.
Thank you.
Dear Jessica,
Okay, now we started viewing the last say goodbye to Jessica from end of back there, or we're gonna start it. Anybody? Start viewing, please. Yeah. And families are line up on this way, please. Yeah. 선생님. 음악 준비됐나요? 예. 예, 오케이. 예. What's that? Yeah, you guys just started and a lot of people follow us, yes. Family first, then and other people will follow us. Is it Jimmy? Jimmy Takam. people, yeah, the people who are standing back there, will you start a lineup, please?
방송을 하지 살짝 방송을 하지. 근데 뭐 그냥 보석에 비한
네, 뷰잉 도중에 잠시 안내 말씀드리겠습니다. 오늘 이 뷰잉이 끝나시면은 저희 유족들이 준비한 저녁이 저기 165가의 양산도라고 식당이 있습니다. 그래서 저녁을 드시고 가셨으면 합니다. There's a dinner for the, dinner for all of you guys and Korean restaurants on 165th Street and called there's a Yangsan-do. Does anybody want to have a dinner with there? You can. Instructor will guide where it is. Okay, so please intend that.
솔직히 이거 가질게.